would amount to probably $150,000 for me.
110,000 jobs in rural America are directly tied to exports of pork. A trade war could put some of these at risk if U.S. pork gets too expensive for Chinese clients.
It is a significant hit.
We have to come to grips with the idea that we're no longer the only superpower. I mean, we've been the only superpower since the fall of the Soviet Union. That's like 25 plus years. And today, that's no longer the case. We have to learn now to live with and or compete against another superpower. But unlike the Soviet Union, this superpower is completely intertwined in our lives. For China to fail in the way the Soviet Union failed would be disastrous for the American economy.
We are following developing news out of the G20 summit where President Trump and China's president agreed to a truce in the trade war. President Trump says the U.S. will postpone raising tariffs on Chinese goods for 90 days. In return, China has reportedly agreed to purchase a substantial amount of U.S. products to reduce the trade imbalance between the two countries.
At this point, if China failed, that would be more problematic in many ways for the American economy than if China succeeded. So we're in a very difficult situation now because our relationship is basically bound together in a way that we never expected it to be.
Phil, with everything that you're laying out here, this is starting to feel like China's rise to power, its ability to square authoritarianism with capitalism, something that the U.S. thought was such a contradiction, is maybe not that much of a contradiction at all. That perhaps the U.S. has been wrong about what it means to be a superpower from the beginning.
Yes, I think that's right. For 40 years, we've made these assumptions about how modernization works, and China has completely charted its own path. They've taken a completely different direction than we thought they would go. They've shown the world a different way to achieve economic growth. And I think that's really challenging the United States and all over the world, because China has sort of presented itself as a different model now. And it comes at a time when there are serious questions about the American way all around the world, including in the United States. When democracy itself is under strain, China is saying, here's another way. And I think that's something that really rubs many Americans the wrong way.
On Tuesday, a temporary truce in the trade war between the U.S. and China, celebrated by both sides as a breakthrough, appeared to unravel. In a tweet, President Trump seemed to issue a new threat against China. President Xi and I want this deal to happen, and it probably will, he wrote. But if not, remember, I am a tariff man. When people or countries come in to raid the great wealth of our nation, I want them to pay for the privilege of doing so. Within hours, the U.S. stock market plunged, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average falling nearly 800 points. We'll be right back.
You know Alexis Ohanian, tech entrepreneur and co-founder of Initialized Capital and Reddit. He's been traveling across the U.S., learning a lot about who is really making the American economy tick. And it's not millennial startups. It's businesses founded by baby boomers and Gen Xers. While Silicon Valley has been innovating its way into the headlines, these other generations have also been busy pushing the economy forward. Listen to Business Schooled, free on Apple Podcasts, to find out how the rest of America is doing business. A podcast by Synchrony.
Here's what else you need to know today.
I have zero question in my mind that the Crown Prince, MBS, ordered the killing, monitored the killing, knew exactly what was happening, planned it in advance. If he was in front of a jury, he would be convicted in 30 minutes, guilty.
On Tuesday, after a briefing by the director of the CIA, a bipartisan group of senators said they were more confident than ever that Saudi Arabia's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, ordered the killing of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
There's not a smoking gun, there's a smoking saw. You have to be willfully blind not to come to the conclusion that this was orchestrated and organized by people under the command of MBS.
The senators, including Republicans Bob Corker of Tennessee and Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, rejected claims by senior Trump administration officials that there is no evidence of bin Salman's role in the assassination, saying that judgment is clouded by the president's desire to protect the crown prince.
I would really question somebody's judgment if they couldn't figure this out. It is there to be figured out. And I think the reason they don't draw the conclusion that he's complicit is because the administration doesn't want to go down that road, not because there's not evidence to suggest he's complicit.
The senators said they were determined to find ways to punish bin Salman, such as ending arms sales to Saudi Arabia or withdrawing U.S. military support for the Saudi war in Yemen.
I want to make sure that Saudi Arabia is put on notice that business as usual has come to an end for me.
That's it for the Daily. I'm Michael Barbaro. See you tomorrow.
The sharing economy can give you access to items you wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. And today, people are renting and sharing everything from designer clothing to sports cars. With Maven, you can rent a car directly from an app. Sharing services like Maven can move communities forward by providing simple mobility solutions. To read about how the sharing economy is the future of your city, visit nytimes.com/Maven.